Do you feel scared to speak English? I felt the same, but one small step changed my life. Let me tell you how. Big change starts with small steps. One word, one choice, one moment of courage. This story will show you. Hello, my friends. Welcome back to English Unleashed now. My name is Ahmed. I am happy you are here today. This episode is special. It is long, gentle, and clear. It is one full hour of listening and shadowing practice. The story you will hear is about life. It is about change. It is about courage. It is about growing as a person. The words are slow. The voice is calm. The sentences are simple. This lesson is made for beginners, for learners who want to listen, for learners who want to relax, for learners who want to train their ears. You can listen many times. You can repeat after me. You can shadow my voice. That means you speak with me, almost at the same time. This is how you practice. This is how you train your mouth. This is how you train your brain to think in English naturally. This is not grammar. This is not vocabulary lists. This is a story. And stories are powerful. Stories connect to the heart. Stories connect to real life. Stories make learning easier. So my friends, find a quiet place. Take a deep breath. Relax. And let us begin our journey together. My name is Ahmed. I am 30 years old. I live in a small town by the sea. Every morning I wake up early. I open the window. The fresh air comes in. The sky is soft and light. Morning always feels like a new beginning. I make a cup of tea. I sit near the window. I watch the sun climb higher. Today is not like other days. Today is the first page of a new chapter. I made a promise to myself. A small promise, but important. For many years my life was the same. Wake up. Go to work. Come home. Eat. Sleep. Repeat. It was not bad. But it was not exciting either. I felt like a small boat. The boat kept moving in circles. It never touched the open sea. And inside I wanted more. I wanted to grow. I wanted to discover who I am. I wanted to be stronger, calmer, kinder. So I made the promise. From today, I will say yes to new things. From today, I will try something new each week. It does not matter if I succeed. It does not matter if I fail. What matters is this: I try. I wrote those words in my notebook. I smiled as I read them again. The words were simple, but they were powerful. Growth is not fast. Growth is slow. It comes from small steps. It comes from trying again and again. I finished my tea. I felt nervous, but also excited. Something inside me was moving. And this time I was ready. The first week I chose something small. I walked to work instead of taking the bus. It was not a big change. But from the very first step, it felt different. The air was cool. The wind touched my face. The sky was soft and pale. The streets were quiet. As I walked, I saw many things I never noticed before. There was a bakery on the corner. The smell of warm bread filled the air. A cat slept under a bench, stretching lazily in the sun. A father held his daughter's hand. They laughed together as they walked. These were ordinary moments, but they felt special because I was present. I was not rushing. I was not checking my phone. I was simply walking, and I was seeing the world. I thought to myself, maybe beauty is everywhere. Maybe I was just too busy to see it. At first, the walk felt long. My legs grew tired. I thought about stopping. I thought about taking the bus halfway. But then I remembered my promise. Do not give up too soon. Try. So I kept walking, step after step. The road felt shorter. The morning felt brighter. And inside me, a quiet voice said, "This is how change begins. One small step at a time." When I reached the office, I felt alive. I felt awake. That day, I made another choice. I decided to talk to Anna. She was a colleague. I often saw her in the lunchroom. She always read interesting books. I wanted to speak with her many times, but I was shy. I thought she might be too busy. I thought maybe she would not want to talk. But today I tried. I smiled. I walked over. And I said, "Hi, Anna, that book looks interesting. What is it about?" She looked up. She smiled. She said, "It is about a woman who travels alone across Asia." I love stories about travel. So we talked. At first my voice was shaky. But then slowly, the conversation felt natural. We spoke about books. We spoke about places we wanted to visit. We spoke about the best food we had tasted. And I discovered something. She was kind. She was funny. She was easy to talk to. Later, I understood something important. Most of my fears were only in my head. They were shadows. They looked big and scary. But when I faced them, they disappeared. That evening I walked home tired. But my heart was light. I had done two new things. I walked to work. I spoke to someone new. They were small, but they meant a lot. At home, I wrote in my notebook. Today I took 2 steps. Small steps. But they moved me forward. I felt the air on my face. I saw the world around me. I spoke without fear. I learned that change begins with choices. I looked at my words and smiled. Growth is not a race. It is not about going fast. It is like walking slowly, step by step. And I was learning to enjoy the walk. The next morning, I walked again. This time, I noticed even more. The sound of leaves under my feet. The smell of coffee from a cafe. The sunlight touching the rooftops. I said hello to the same cat on the bench. The father and daughter waved at me. And in that moment, I understood something deeper. Small steps may look small, but they change how we see the world. One evening after work, I walked home by the sea. The sun was setting. The waves moved gently. The air smelled of salt. The world was peaceful. I saw an old man sitting on a wooden bench. His face was full of wrinkles, but his eyes were bright. His eyes were calm. It looked like he had seen everything and was still at peace. I felt curious, so I sat next to him. He turned. He smiled. He said hello. We talked. His voice was slow. His voice was soft. It was like the rhythm of the waves. His name was Samuel. He was 80 years old. He lived in this town all his life. Every evening he came to the sea. To sit. To think. To listen. He said, "The sea is my oldest friend. It teaches me every day." I asked him what he meant. He pointed at the water. He said, "Look at the waves. Sometimes they are calm. Sometimes they are strong. But they always keep moving. Life is like that. It changes with the season. It teaches patience. It teaches strength." Then he said something I never forgot. We grow when we listen. When we listen to others. When we listen to the world. When we listen to ourselves. Most people talk too much. They listen too little. But if you listen, truly listen, life shows the way. I sat in silence. I listened to the waves. They sounded different now. The wind felt like it carried a message. On my way home, I thought about his words. I realized I often tried to control everything. My plans, my future, my success. I worried about mistakes. I planned every detail. But maybe growth is not only control. Maybe growth is also trust. Trusting the process. Trusting life to guide me. If I pay attention. If I listen. That night I sat by the window. The sky was dark. The stars were bright. The world was silent. I opened my notebook. I wrote, "Today I learned to listen." Wisdom often comes quietly. My friends, let me ask you something here. First question. Do you think small steps can truly change your life? If you believe they can, comment now. Second question. Have you ever faced a fear and discovered it was smaller than you thought? If yes, write about it below. Third question. What new thing would you like to try this week? Think carefully, then share your answer in the comments.